Since this is kind of a serious matter for a lot of people, I think I should probably start with a joke. Because there's a lot of folks that are working for Anheuser-Busch InBev right now that could use some dad-level humor. And I have that covered. Why did the Bud Light marketing executive take a leave of absence? Because she realized that mixing beer and bad decisions can be a brutal combination. Too soon? Okay, I got another one. I love it. How about this? What did the Anheuser-Busch marketing team say when they saw the plummeting sales? Looks like we're going from king of beers to court jester.
You are so funny.
No? Really? All right, I tried. Anyway, in a stunning turn of events, Bud Light found itself at the center of a major controversy. They made a boneheaded decision to feature a transgender influencer in an advertisement that completely backfired. The marketing blunder sent shockwaves through the company, resulting in the leave of absence of Vice President Alissa Heinerscheid and a catastrophic drop in sales and market value. Since creating the term, the Bud Light effect, this marketing wonderkind has been radio silent, but she's been speaking to friends about her debacle, so we're going to grab a quick update here and recap as AB InBev continues to suffer under the weight of being Heinerscheided. Here we go. Bud Light's decision to partner with a transgender media influencer, whose audience is primarily minors, for a March Madness promotion campaign generated immense backlash. One can only wonder why. Vice President Alissa Heinerscheid, who had recently joined the company with plans to refresh its fratty image, according to a podcast interview that she'd given, took a leave of absence amid the mounting controversy. Talk about running away when things get difficult. But maybe that's not true, because Daniel Blake, the VP for Mainstream Brands, also stepped down. This indicated the severity of the situation. And when you see things written the way they're being written, because insiders have said that under promises of anonymity, the leave of absences were very much not voluntary, which is not surprising. And what's missing here, or the context I should say that's missing, is that this was entirely preventable if you had, I don't know, adults in the room, or essentially an understanding of your customers. It was also rather easily remedied, but that time is long past at this point. While Bud Light claimed that the decision to work with Mulvaney was made by an outside agency without the management awareness or approval, that's very strange. Questions have remained regarding Heinerscheid's knowledge of the campaign. When approached for comment, which she was recently, Heinerscheid declined to speak about the matter, which added more mystery surrounding her role in the entire fiasco, although I think we could probably guess who pulled the trigger on it. She single-handedly destroyed a decades-long #1 brand for Anheuser-Busch and sent an entire parent company into a tailspin. Yet, when she was approached, a friend actually intervened and stated that she's not supposed to talk about it. She can't. Well, clearly, they have her locked down good, probably with some NDAs and perhaps a promised future compensation, or maybe a job that she might still have at the end of all of this nightmare. Of course, we can only speculate here, as no one has really honestly addressed this matter. They've done nothing but obfuscate and hide away, and point fingers everywhere but at themselves. It's not really surprising. This is what happens when you put people in positions that they have not earned. The fallout from the controversial campaign had some dire consequences for Bud Light specifically. The company's market value has actually suffered. It's plummeted by over $26 billion to date, with no signs of that decline even leveling out. This has led to some financial assistance for some of the people who have been harmed here, the frontline employees and workers that have been impacted by the boycott, which is probably a good thing. It's probably the very least that this company should do, because sales of Bud Light took a complete nosedive and have fallen on average about 25.7% to date. Now, you would think that this would be a curve that would eventually find a bottom. So far, it hasn't. That drop is the steepest decline since the controversy erupted, and I don't think there's an end in sight. What's even worse, of course, is that it's on the cusp of what is a deadly bearish pattern, which usually accelerates into a terrible, terrible decline. And in a shocking rhyme in history, which, because it doesn't necessarily repeat itself, it usually rhymes, only J.C. Penney has had this type of calamitous fall. And that happened way back in 2012 under similar ideological marketing, which I don't know that I would play with if I was a major brand. AB InBev is only second, actually, to J.C. Penney in terms of a collapse, and as quickly as it's happened. That brand fell 25% on a marketing decision, and it could be argued that Bud Light's on their way, or Anheuser-Busch proper. Interestingly enough, it took the hiring of Ellen DeGeneres at JCPenney to actually get the CEO fired after, I don't know, doubling down on the ideological marketing. Don't know why companies do this. It makes no sense. Todd Allen, who is the global vice president of Budweiser, assumed the role of Heinerscheid during her leave of absence. And I know I'm using quotes and a lot of you don't like that, but I don't know what else to call it. Is she just away on vacation until she's fired? I just don't know how to say it. And as Bud Light has grappled with the aftermath of the disastrous campaign, whether they want to call it that or not, they paid somebody to do something for them. That's a campaign. The company announced plans to triple its marketing spending in the US to revive sales. However, analysts expressed concerns about the deeper issues within the company at that point and questioned its ability to manage risk and hire the best talent. So far, I would say good reason to question, because it was rather well earned. Multiple harebrained attempts to stem the bleeding since all of this erupted have, just earned ridicule. And that's being kind. It's so clearly outlined that InBev at this point considers their very own customers to be stupid and that they'll buy anything like Clydesdales and images of 9/11 and many other things that just want you to ignore that they've never apologized for not understanding you, which is a huge mistake. So the top spot in US beer marketing has long been held by Bud Light, and that's been under threat for about 2 months now, coincidentally. And that threat comes from Modelo Especial. And many reports right now state that Modelo's sales experienced a significant increase. No kidding. Experts actually believe that right now it has surpassed Bud Light as the #1 beer brand in the United States, which is insane. Bud Light's decline in ranking obviously continues, and it's impacting other companies' market value at the same time. Well, of course. Competitors like Yuengling, Molson Coors, which is another woke brand, by the way, so if you're looking at Miller Lite and stuff like that, stop. They're equally woke. Anyway. And, of course, Heineken, which I think tastes like skunk water, witnessed some substantial gains. And again, if you're a fan of any of those beers, that's fantastic. I prefer Yuengling, but that's another conversation. So now we get to the backlash. Because as Bud Light attempted to distance itself from the Mulvaney promotion, it faced a backlash from both conservatives, which is not really true. It's just beer drinkers. I don't think all beer drinkers are conservative. 20 possibly of beer drinkers were rejecting that. They also started to face a backlash from pro-LGBTQ plus groups. No kidding. Although that's not a significant percentage, but they're very vocal, so it doesn't look good. Of course, Kid Rock's publicly making his frustration, known in his own unique way, definitely resonated with a lot of people. And of course, the LGBTQ plus groups accused Bud Light of abandoning Mulvaney, which they did. I mean, that's true, but it's for a good reason. He was brand poison, and he's probably that for many other brands right now, like Nike and others, but we'll set that aside. The company's response and management of the crisis drew a ton of criticism, raising questions about its commitment to radical woke ideologies like ESG and DEI and all the HRC demands for their scam CEI score, which stands for Corporate Equity Index, whatever. So, of course, in an effort to stay in the good graces of the ESG overlords, AB InBev tripled down, possibly even quadrupled down. They cast an entire brand under the bus to serve a single-digit % of the population, who, for the most part, don't patronize any of their products. Wow. So while the two most prominent figures in this entire debacle continue to duck press and don't answer questions, we have to come to a conclusion here, and it's not one that has a very positive outlook for Anheuser-Busch. The Bud Light marketing blunder caused an incredible corporate disaster. It resulted in the departure of some executives, maybe permanently, probably, and it generated a significant decline in sales and collapsed their market value. These words I'm using a lot more often than normal, like collapse, and there's a reason, because it's actually happening. The whole mantra of get woke, go broke, when everybody bands together, actually happened. Look at what's happening to Target right now, and what could happen to Kohl's, and is likely going to happen to Chick-fil-A. Whew, when are you going to learn? Anyway, the fallout from the controversy is continuing to shape the beer landscape, at least as far as the industry as a whole. And Bud Light's once unassailable position, well, assailed? Yes, it's been assailed, and they've been overcome. And as the company grapples with that aftermath, which is not good, you're not the #1 beer in America, they're finding all of the strategies that they're trying to implement suffering. They may be beyond recovery. I would argue that they are. So, as many have suggested, there will be college courses for marketing available in the future that say, don't get Heinerscheided and never be a part of the Bud Light effect. Disastrous campaigns will decimate your company, and this one is going to reverberate throughout the advertising and marketing world for decades to come. And with that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.
Today, be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.